What if the reason your skin no longer glows the way it once did, the reason your wrinkles deepen each morning, and the reason your face feels somehow less lifted no matter how many creams you try, has nothing to do with age at all, but with a silent change happening inside your body every single dawn, a change no one ever warned you about, yet one simple morning ritual could begin to reverse? As women move beyond 50, very few realize that the first thing they eat each morning may be quietly shaping how much collagen their skin can produce throughout the day. I'm Dr. Eliza Hart, and after more than 15 years working with hormonal aging and mature skin, I've seen that what most women interpret as normal aging is often the result of circulation slowing down, oxygen delivery weakening, and the biochemical signals that renew collagen becoming noticeably quieter at sunrise. That is why morning nutrition can create changes no topical routine can achieve on its own, influencing firmness, radiance, and the depth of fine lines in ways many women don't expect. If these insights already resonate with you, I would love for you to subscribe and comment the country you're listening from so I can see how far our community is growing. And please help me reach my first 50,000 subscribers, because your support truly motivates me to continue this work. Stay with me until the end. I have a small surprise that will help you use this morning ritual even more effectively. Now let's explore what really happens inside your skin after 50. 1. The silent skin decline. After 50 and the real biological cause. There is a moment in every woman's life, often subtle and easily dismissed, when her reflection begins to shift in ways she cannot quite explain. The skin that once seemed effortlessly luminous starts to look a little duller in the morning light. The fine lines she barely noticed deepen almost overnight, and the firmness she relied on gradually softens without warning. This quiet transformation becomes even more confusing when she is doing everything right on the surface, applying creams, serums, and treatments that once delivered visible results, yet now seem strangely ineffective. This is the silent decline, and it unfolds long before most women recognize it. The truth is that after 50, the skin is no longer responding to surface care alone, because the processes that support renewal begin to change from within. Circulation slows in the early morning hours, oxygen delivery weakens, and fibroblasts, the very cells responsible for producing collagen, receive fewer biological signals to stay active. Estrogen, once the guardian of elasticity and smoothness, drops sharply, leaving the skin more vulnerable to creasing, thinning, and dehydration. Meanwhile, low-grade inflammation, which often goes unnoticed, quietly disrupts collagen architecture, creating a texture that feels less resilient with each passing year. Many women assume these shifts reflect simple aging, yet the deeper reality is far more hopeful. The decline is not a permanent closing of the skin's ability to renew. It is a sign that the internal environment no longer provides the conditions collagen requires to rebuild. When blood flow diminishes, nutrients are delivered more slowly. When oxygen is scarce, cellular repair drifts into dormancy. When hormonal signaling weakens, the skin loses its rhythm of nightly restoration. These factors create the illusion of irreversible aging, when in truth, the skin is simply waiting for a consistent source of internal support. What becomes most empowering is understanding that the body communicates these early signs gently, offering quiet cues long before deeper structural changes take hold. And when women begin to shift their attention from what they place on their skin to what they give their body at the very start of each day, something remarkable begins to happen. The foundational pathways that fuel radiance slowly awaken again. In a moment, we'll explore how an unexpectedly simple morning combination has been used for generations to help revive these pathways. But first, it's important to understand why this internal approach succeeds, where topical routines often reach their limits. 2. The morning duo used for generations: beetroot plus ginger. Across many cultures and generations, women who reached midlife often turned to simple, grounding morning rituals to preserve vitality, clarity, and the kind of natural radiance that does not depend on cosmetics alone. And while modern routines tend to focus on serums and devices, there has always been a deeper wisdom in the traditions that prioritized what the body receives at the very start of the day. Among these rituals, few combinations have earned the enduring trust that beetroot and ginger have. Two ingredients that appear unassuming at first glance, yet have quietly supported women through the hormonal transitions of aging for centuries. In Mediterranean communities, beetroot was often called the root of life because of the noticeable warmth and circulation it brought after consumption. Women describe their cheeks gaining a soft, natural flush that no cream could recreate, and although they may not have used scientific terms, they intuitively recognized how essential healthy blood flow was to maintaining skin that looked alive. In other regions, particularly throughout Asia, ginger was cherished as the morning inner fire, a way to gently awaken the body, stimulate digestion, and create a sense of internal vitality before the day began. Together, these two ingredients formed a quiet but powerful foundation for mature women seeking to maintain elasticity, evenness, and glow long before the concept of collagen supplements existed. What makes this morning duo so meaningful today is not simply its historical presence, but the consistency of the experiences documented across generations. Women noted brighter complexions, steadier energy, fewer fluctuations in puffiness, and a more youthful tone to their skin. Elders taught their daughters and granddaughters that beauty was not merely something placed on the surface, but something nourished from within, beginning with the first food of the morning. And although these practices were shaped by tradition rather than laboratory research, many of their observations now align with what modern physiology confirms about circulation, inflammation control, and cellular awakening. Over time, these shared observations became a quiet form of intergenerational knowledge, reminding women that supporting the body's early morning rhythm could influence far more than appearance alone. As we look at this duo through the lens of hormonal changes after 50, it becomes clear why these traditions endured. They work with the body's natural morning rhythms instead of pushing against them. Before we explore the deeper biological mechanisms that make beetroot such a remarkable catalyst for oxygenation, it's important to understand why a morning ritual based on nourishment continues to be far more effective for mature skin than most surface-level approaches. 3. Why beetroot works: nitric oxide and skin oxygenation. There is often a moment when a woman tastes beetroot in the morning and feels a subtle warmth rising through her chest and cheeks, as if something deep within her system has finally begun to stir again. That sensation is not imagined. It is the first sign of nitric oxide awakening, a molecule that plays one of the most understated yet essential roles in how mature skin receives oxygen, nutrients, and the early day signals that guide collagen renewal. After 50, nitric oxide production can fall dramatically, leaving the skin under-oxygenated and unable to perform even its most basic restorative tasks. Beetroot is uniquely rich in natural nitrates, compounds that the body quickly converts into nitric oxide. When this conversion happens, blood vessels gently widen, allowing circulation to reach areas that have gradually become quiet over time. With improved blood flow, the deeper layer of the skin, the dermis, receives the oxygen it has been missing, and fibroblasts finally gain the energy required to synthesize new collagen. Women often describe their complexion looking slightly brighter within days, not because the beetroot changes the pigment of the skin, but because oxygenation returns life to tissues that were previously fatigued. What makes beetroot especially meaningful for women over 50 is how directly it counteracts the physiological shifts that accompany hormonal decline. As estrogen drops, microcirculation weakens, collagen fibers lose their structural arrangement, and the skin becomes more susceptible to environmental stress. By increasing nitric oxide, beetroot helps restore the underlying environment that collagen depends on. better oxygen exchange, stronger nutrient delivery, and enhanced cellular resilience. This is why some women report reduced dullness, softer fine lines, and a more buoyant texture after drinking beetroot consistently in the morning. And because this improvement begins internally, the skin often responds in ways topical routines alone cannot replicate. If you're listening and you've noticed your complexion losing its morning glow more quickly than before, leave me a 1 in the comments. If you haven't experienced it yet but want to understand your skin better as you age, leave a 0 so I know where you are on this journey. Your responses truly help me shape these lessons around what real women are experiencing every day. As we continue, it becomes important to look at the second part of this traditional duo. Beetroot may open the pathways, but there is another morning ingredient that influences what flows through them, an ingredient women have relied on for centuries to steady inflammation and support the hormonal balance that aging skin quietly depends on. 4. Why ginger matters: inflammation control and hormonal support. Morning rituals often reveal their power in the smallest sensations, and ginger is a perfect example of how something simple can reshape how a woman feels as her day begins. Instead of a dramatic jolt, ginger offers a steady rise of warmth that settles deep within the body, a signal that key biological pathways are awakening in ways mature skin depends on far more than most women realize. This warmth represents more than comfort. It reflects ginger's profound influence on inflammation and hormonal balance, two forces that quietly determine how well the skin can maintain elasticity, hydration, and collagen integrity after 50. As estrogen declines, the body becomes more vulnerable to a low, slow-burning form of inflammation that rarely causes pain but steadily dismantles collagen. This inflammation accelerates glycation, weakens the skin barrier, disrupts microcirculation, and leaves the complexion looking older, tighter, or more uneven than it actually is. Ginger contains bioactive compounds, most notably gingerols and shogols, that directly interfere with these inflammatory pathways, helping the skin return to a calmer, more receptive state. When the internal environment becomes less inflamed, collagen fibers are no longer pushed into premature breakdown, allowing the skin to maintain smoother structure for longer. Beyond inflammation control, ginger also influences hormonal signaling in ways that women over 50 often underestimate. Research has shown that ginger can help support estrogen receptor sensitivity, meaning the remaining estrogen in the body is used more efficiently. When these receptors function well, the skin tends to appear fuller, more hydrated, and less prone to the sagging that accompanies menopause-related collagen loss. This is why some women experience a soft reduction in puffiness, a quicker return of morning definition along the jawline, and a noticeable improvement in evenness after adding ginger to their routine. Another benefit lies in circulation. Ginger's warming effect helps stimulate superficial blood flow, bringing nutrients closer to the skin more quickly. For women who wake up feeling heavy, dull, or puffy in the face, this warmth can feel like a small but reliable reset, a reminder that the skin is still capable of responding, even if its rhythms have changed with age. But perhaps what makes ginger truly indispensable is how beautifully it complements beetroot. While beetroot opens the pathways by enhancing nitric oxide, ginger shapes what moves through those pathways by influencing inflammation and hormonal harmony. And when these two forces work together, something far more dynamic begins to happen, setting the stage for a synergy that revitalizes mature skin in ways neither ingredient can achieve alone. 5. The synergy: why beetroot plus ginger work better together. Some combinations reveal their power only when they meet inside the body, and beetroot with ginger is one of those pairings that behaves far differently together than either ingredient ever could on its own. Women often notice it not through a dramatic change, but through a quiet shift in how awake, lifted, and balanced their skin feels as the morning progresses. This is the hallmark of a true synergy, an effect that emerges when two biological forces complement each other so precisely that their impact becomes greater than the sum of their parts. Beetroot begins the process by widening blood vessels through increased nitric oxide, allowing oxygen and nutrients to reach the deeper portions of the skin more efficiently. Fibroblasts, which may have been sluggish for years, suddenly receive the resources they need to act with renewed potential. This alone can brighten the complexion and soften the heaviness that often settles into the face with age. However, when ginger enters the picture, the environment surrounding those fibroblasts changes yet again, becoming more stable, less inflamed, and more hormonally receptive. Ginger's ability to reduce chronic inflammation means that the newly delivered oxygen from beetroot is not immediately met with internal resistance. Instead, the skin experiences a supportive atmosphere where collagen fibers can reorganize, repair, and strengthen without interference. At the same time, ginger enhances receptor sensitivity to declining estrogen levels, ensuring that the signals essential for firmness and elasticity are not lost in the hormonal transition of midlife. When these two effects converge, women frequently describe their skin as feeling more alive, as though a long-muted vitality has returned. Another aspect of their synergy lies in circulation. Beetroot opens the deeper channels, while ginger stimulates the more superficial layers, creating a multi-level flow that results in improved color, tone, and texture. This dual action explains why fine lines may appear softer, hydration may improve, and morning puffiness may lessen within a relatively short period of consistent use. The skin essentially receives a coordinated form of support that addresses both structure and surface simultaneously. Yet the most meaningful part of this partnership is how intuitive it feels once women begin to understand the mechanisms at play. It becomes clear why ancient traditions preserve this combination and why modern physiology now validates what generations of women observe through experience alone. Before we explore how to prepare this ritual in a way that aligns with your skin's morning biology, it's important to understand what happens internally once these two ingredients begin their work together. 6. How to prepare the morning collagen ritual and what happens inside your skin. A ritual becomes powerful not because it is complicated, but because it aligns with the body's natural rhythm. And the beetroot-ginger morning combination is a perfect example of how simplicity can meet biology with remarkable precision. When prepared correctly and consumed before breakfast, this blend interacts with the very systems responsible for collagen production, oxygen delivery, and early-day hormonal balance, systems that become quieter and more delicate after 50. To begin, the preparation itself is intentionally uncomplicated. Half of a raw or lightly steamed beetroot, paired with 1 to 2 teaspoons of fresh ginger, blended with water until smooth. This gentle approach preserves the natural nitrates in beetroot and the bioactive compounds in ginger, ensuring that the moment they enter the bloodstream, their biological effects unfold with maximum efficiency. Drinking this mixture on an empty stomach allows the body to absorb and convert nitrates into nitric oxide at a time when levels are naturally at their lowest, which is why many women feel a subtle shift in warmth, clarity, and energy shortly afterward. Inside the skin, the sequence is both elegant and deeply physiological. As nitric oxide rises, the dermal blood vessels expand, delivering oxygen to fibroblasts that may have been underpowered for years. Once oxygen reaches them in adequate amounts, these cells can finally resume the metabolic activity required to build and repair collagen structures. At the same time, the ginger compounds begin reducing silent inflammation, clearing the biochemical interference that often prevents collagen fibers from forming properly. Over the next several days, these internal shifts manifest externally: reduced dullness, a slight improvement in elasticity, and a softer appearance around the fine lines that tend to deepen overnight. By the first week, many women report a noticeable brightness, the kind that comes not from pigmentation changes, but from improved oxygen exchange. After 2 weeks, firmness often begins to return as collagen synthesis becomes more consistent. By the 4th week, the glow feels more stable, a reflection of deeper equilibrium rather than a temporary surface effect. These changes unfold gradually, but they reflect the natural pace of biological renewal, which is why the transformation feels grounded rather than artificial. As meaningful as these physiological improvements are, the experience is not complete without understanding how these changes influence confidence and emotional well-being, especially for women who may have believed that their skin's best years were behind them. And that brings us to the final shift, one that reaches far beyond appearance alone. 7. The emotional and confidence shift, when skin comes back to life. Many women expect skin changes to be merely physical, but the moment their complexion begins to brighten, soften, and feel more awake, something deeper often stirs. Something that touches identity, self-worth, and the quiet confidence that can fade over time without anyone noticing. These emotional shifts do not arrive all at once. Instead, they unfold gradually, mirroring the slow reawakening happening within the skin itself. As circulation improves and collagen pathways reignite, women frequently describe feeling unexpectedly lighter, clearer, or more present in their daily lives, as if a part of themselves they thought had dimmed is returning. For years, many have learned to adjust to a face that no longer reflects how vibrant they still feel inside. They avoid certain mirrors, angles, or lighting, convincing themselves that these reactions are superficial, when in truth, they are responding to a deeper disconnect, the discomfort of not recognizing the woman looking back at them. When skin begins to shift in a direction that feels more aligned with their inner vitality, that disconnect softens. The small act of noticing a brighter reflection can change how a woman carries herself, how she speaks, and even how she engages with the world around her. The beetroot ginger ritual often becomes more than a nutritional practice. It becomes a daily reminder that her body is still capable of growth, repair, and beauty, even after decades of hormonal transitions. Women frequently share that they begin initiating conversations again, enjoying being photographed, or feeling more at ease when leaving the house without makeup. These are not vanity-driven changes. They are signals of restored self-assurance, evidence that the relationship with their appearance is healing alongside the skin itself. Beyond personal confidence, there is a shift in emotional steadiness. When inflammation lowers, circulation stabilizes, and oxygenation improves, the nervous system benefits too. Many women describe a calmer baseline mood, fewer moments of frustration or fatigue, and a renewed sense of groundedness. When the body feels supported, the mind follows, creating a loop of well-being that reinforces both emotional and physical resilience. What makes this transformation so meaningful is that it arrives not from drastic procedures, but from a ritual rooted in nourishment, consistency, and respect for the body's natural rhythms. And as these internal and external changes integrate, they prepare the perfect foundation for the message I want to leave you with. The deeper truth about renewal after 50 and how understanding your biology can reshape the way you experience aging itself. The journey we've taken together in this video reveals a truth that many women sense intuitively but rarely hear articulated with clarity. Your skin does not stop responding after 50. It simply requires support that honors the biological changes unfolding beneath the surface. Beetroot and ginger work so powerfully because they awaken the internal systems, circulation, oxygenation, hormonal signaling, that shape collagen long before any cream ever touches your face. When these pathways reignite, your skin's natural intelligence returns, and with it, the confidence and steadiness that so many women fear they have lost. If you begin this ritual, do it with consistency rather than intensity. Small daily actions, especially in the morning, have a way of reshaping the long-term trajectory of your skin far more effectively than quick fixes or harsh interventions. Listen to your body, observe your changes, and allow time to work in your favor. If my work has brought you clarity, comfort, or a sense of companionship on your health journey, and if you feel moved to support this channel's growth, you're welcome to donate in any amount. Your kindness genuinely helps me continue creating educational content for women around the world. Before you go, please like, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps this message reach more women who need it. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.